Today we are embarking on a deep journey into the mind of Steve Cohen and the foundations of the massive empire he built. On Wall Street, everyone tries to make money. Thousands of traders sit in front of their screens every day. However, very few people can feel the fabric of the market, that invisible pulse, as clearly as Steve Cohen. What makes him a legend isn't just the billions of dollars he has earned or his massive art collection. It is his approach to technical analysis and market mechanics, which is far beyond the conventional, almost at a molecular level. For most amateur traders, technical analysis means adding a few colored lines to a screen and waiting for the RSI to move into the overbought zone or for one moving average to cross another. But when you enter Steve Cohen's world, these concepts are replaced by a completely different terminology and an unwavering mathematical discipline. Cohen is not an indicator trader in the classical sense. In his world, where an indicator sits is not at the center of the decision but merely on its periphery. His approach is based on this fundamental equation: price is merely a result, and output, the true data, is the flow. When Steve Cohen's trading career began at Gruntel & Co. in the late 1970s, there were no millisecond algorithms or high-resolution charts like there are today. In those days, the edge was comprised of pure observation, high focus, and an incredible speed of decision-making. The risk management and the ability to read an opponent's bluff or intent, skills Cohen learned at poker tables while still a young trader, made him one of the most feared players on Wall Street. Cohen does not completely reject technical analysis, but he subjects it to a very specific filtering process. To him, a chart is just a reference, a map. Momentum is a context, and the trend is merely a compass showing the current market bias. The actual decision mechanism is built upon order flow, the speed of information, and the instantaneous behavior of major liquidity providers in the market. Cohen believes that if a pattern has formed on a chart, it has already been seen by everyone, and its advantage, its alpha, has already diminished. Real money is made by sensing the changes in the order book, while that pattern is still in the process of forming. His greatest strength lies in his ability to read micro-movements. In finance literature, we call this market microstructure. Many traders enter a trade with excitement when a breakout occurs. Cohen, however, makes a very critical distinction here. He views technical analysis not as a static set of rules, but as probability clusters. Instead of a classical support level, he focuses on behavioral zones. Cohen looks at the following: who is behind this move? Does this volume reflect a real demand, or is it just a liquidity trap? Is there a crumb of information behind this price movement that the market has not yet digested? If the answers to these questions align with a mathematical probability, he enters the trade. While most traders throw all their capital onto the table the moment they see momentum, Cohen uses momentum not as an entry signal, but as a confirmation mechanism to scale into the position. This is a game-changing difference. While a standard trader takes their highest risk out of fear of missing out, FOMO, when they see momentum, Cohen first tests the waters with a small pilot position. If the market continues to flow in his predicted direction, that is, if the momentum confirms his thesis, he then places his main massive bet. This approach is the art of building wealth through position force sizing rather than total win rate. At this point, we must talk about Cohen's famous tape reading ability. In the modern world, physical tapes no longer exist. There are digital order books where thousands of transactions flow per second. However, the logic remains the same. Cohen focuses not just on where the price is going, but how and at what speed it arrives at that price. If the price is rising rapidly, but the depth in the order book does not support this rise, Cohen sees it not as an opportunity, but as a bubble that will collapse in seconds. The areas where he is closest to technical analysis are price action and liquidity zones. But the difference is this: he reads these zones not from lifeless lines on a chart, but from the hot and volatile pulse of the market at that moment. Decision speed is his greatest competitive advantage. While other traders are paralyzed by analysis, processing data, and waiting for confirmation like, "What does the indicator say?" Cohen makes his decision the moment he sees it and transmits his order. This speed difference is the thin line between the predator and the prey in this wild ecosystem of Wall Street. It would be a great oversight to explain Cohen's success solely through his technical skills or speed. At the heart of his system lies the information edge. Cohen built one of the most advanced and perhaps most expensive information networks in the history of Wall Street. This system, established during the SAC Capital era, was fed by broker networks, expert network systems, and a massive field research team. The goal was to catch the freshest information in the market before anyone else, while it was not yet fully reflected in the price. There is a bitter but true rule on Wall Street: the best trader is usually the one who reaches the best information the fastest. Cohen managed this system with a flawless feedback loop. The more trading volume you create, the more first call advantages you get from brokers. And the more information you receive, the earlier and more accurately you read the market. However, such great success and hunger for information brought along a dark period where ethical boundaries were incredibly strained. The insider trading scandals of 2008 and beyond caused SAC Capital to become the subject of one of the largest federal investigations in history. Miraculous, timely trades in certain healthcare and technology stocks raise the question: is such perfect timing possible only with a genius for technical analysis or with leaked information? As investigations deepened, it was revealed that some traders within the system reached non-public data through experts and doctors. Although this period resulted in a record $1.8 billion fine and the fund being closed to outside investors, Cohen's genius over the market was never questioned. In fact, this scandal proved how resilient the system he built actually was. This concept, known as Black Edge, showed the whole world how much power could accumulate in that gray area between what is legal and what is not in the market. After this collapse, instead of giving up, Cohen was reborn from the ashes under the name Point 72. This new structure was no longer just a hedge fund, but also one of the most advanced technology and data factories in the world. As the market structure changed, Cohen knew how to update himself like a chameleon. His billions of dollars in investments in quantitative trading, alternative data, and artificial intelligence in recent years show how he has redesigned the game. Where Cohen once read the tape, he now processes a massive ocean of data, ranging from satellite imagery to retail sales data, from credit card spending to social media sentiment analysis. Yet, despite this technological transformation, his fundamental philosophy has never changed. See the market as a data problem, worship risk management like a religion, keep decision speed at maximum, and always have an edge. Cohen is not just a trader, he is also a tremendous system architect. The pod system he implemented at SAC and Point 72 is an organizational wonder where traders work in independent units, each presenting their best ideas in their field of expertise to the center. Through this structure, Cohen gained a collective brain capable of scanning opportunities in every corner of the market simultaneously. Here, technical analysis ceased to be an individual skill and turned into an organizational standard operating procedure. Discipline is the harshest rule of this system. Cohen's obsession with risk management is legendary. No matter how much profit a trader makes, if they exceed the set risk limits by even a millimeter, there is no place for them in Cohen's system. Ruthlessly cutting small losses, never, ever, waiting with hope in a losing position, and being able to detach emotionally from the market entirely is the steel armor of his system. To him, losing money is not a failure, but merely a transaction cost. The real failure is allowing that loss to grow and jeopardize the system. We can build his philosophy on three unshakable pillars. First, the fact that markets are a massive and dynamic mathematical equation that needs to be solved. Second, that risk management is more vital and life-saving than any flashy strategy. And third, that individual genius works only up to a point, but the best designed system will always win. Cohen's mindset teaches us this: if you see what everyone else sees in the market, you cannot earn more than anyone else. If everyone is waiting to buy at the same support level, that level will likely turn into a liquidity trap. Thinking like Cohen means stepping outside the crowd and the noise and trying to understand the real intent and flow behind the price. A trader who does not ask, "What do I know here that is different from the others?" in every trade is merely bait in Cohen's world. Today, Steve Cohen remains one of the most powerful figures, with his multi-billion-dollar fortune, the New York Mets sports club, and his unwavering weight in the financial world. His story is both a saga of success and a warning about where the boundaries of modern finance can extend. You cannot survive in this arena without an edge, but how you obtain and protect that advantage determines whether you will be a legend or a controversial figure. Cohen is one of those rare people standing at the exact intersection of these EWO definitions. In conclusion, Steve Cohen and the empire he built have proven that technical analysis is not just a hobby on charts. When blended with data, mathematics, technology, and unwavering discipline, it can turn into a massive financial weapon that can move the world. In the future, no matter how digitized the financial world becomes, no matter how dominant artificial intelligence and quantum computers become, this fundamental data, system, and risk-oriented approach, established by Cohen, will remain the unchanging golden formula for success. Staying permanent in the market is not just about looking at charts and drawing lines. It is about having a mind capable of making sense of the massive pile of data behind those lines and a flawless system that supports this mind. Steve Cohen's story is the victory of unwavering faith in data and deep respect for every millisecond of the market. If you want to be permanent in the financial markets, stop trying to predict the direction of the wind and, like Cohen, be equipped to open the sails at the most accurate angle in that very first second the wind begins. Because this game belongs not just to those who know the most, but to those who take action in the fastest and most disciplined way.
Thank you for watching our video. In the next episode, we will examine the journey of another legendary trader. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. For more content and strategies, you can join our Telegram channel. The link is in the description.